Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
President Trump appears to be siding with Saudi Arabia despite evidence linking the Crown Prince with the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. I'm Laura Podesta, and I'll tell you what people on both sides of the aisle are saying about the president's choice of words.
This big empty space will be the home to the brand new medical care facility that's coming to West Bozeman. I'm Emma Hamilton reporting from Bozeman, and I'll have the details for you coming up next.
Good morning to you. It is 6:30 here on your Wednesday. I'm Missy O'Malley with Chet Lehman. Matt Elwell will have our forecast in just a moment for your turkey time. But our top story for you now, President Trump appears to be siding with Saudi Arabia, even though the CIA has evidence linking the Crown Prince with the murder of Washington Post contributor Jamal Khashoggi.
Now U.S. lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are criticizing the president's words and his lack of action. CBS News' Laura Podesta breaks down the reaction.
President Trump is standing by Saudi Arabia, even though the CIA has intelligence substantiating an assessment that the Crown Prince ordered Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi's killing.
It's a very complex situation. It's a shame, but it is what it is.
That is what it is statement irked U.S. lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham tweeted, "One thing I learned during the Obama years is that when you look the other way regarding problems in the Middle East, it seldom works out." Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer took issue with the president's official statement yesterday, casting doubt on the Crown Prince's role. That's not how a U.S. president responds to the murder of a journalist and American resident.
There are important American interests to keep the American people safe.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo noted American business and national security as part of the reason the U.S. will not impose sanctions. That's a sentiment President Trump echoed.
If we broke with them, I think your oil prices would go through the roof. They're paying us $400 billion plus to purchase and invest in our country.
Republican Senator Bob Corker and Democratic Senator Bob Menendez, respectively the chairman and ranking member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, sent a letter to President Trump demanding he make a determination as to the Saudi Crown Prince's role in the murder. Laura Podesta, CBS News.
Now, a former senior U.S. official who has been meeting with a member of Saudi officials and businessmen in Riyadh tells CBS News the president's statement was perceived there as reassuring and helpful. So more to follow on that.
Much more to follow on that. A little bit more to follow on this beautiful forecast. Let's just keep talking about the sunshine.
It's going to be fabulous.
Okay.
Fabulous.
Yeah. Temperatures are probably going to be back into the 40s by the afternoon. That's a far cry from that now. Teens and 20s for most of the area. 8 below this morning in West Yellowstone. Burr.
How far is a far cry? I'm just curious.
You know what? I've never thought about it. Things to ponder. Temperatures back into the 40s for the afternoon today. It does look like we're going to be talking more about some cooler weather by the end of your Thanksgiving holiday and the weekend ahead. We'll talk more about that, of course, coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Matt. It's now 6:33. The Billings Clinic says it will be building an ambulatory care center in West Bozeman. MTN's Emma Hamilton has more.
At a much smaller level, Billings Clinic has been in Bozeman for quite some time, with their OBGYN and pediatrics practices, and it's about to be something much larger.
Think about it, Bozeman is growing 10% a year in a population. And so we just know you're going to outstrip your provider base if there isn't someone who brings new providers into the area.
This 54-acre plot of land will be the home to the brand new 97,000 square foot Destination Ambulatory Care Center here in West Bozeman. This new center on the Billings Clinic campus will be located adjacent to I-90 near the 19th Street exit. It will differ from a traditional hospital and does not plan to offer emergency services.
So we'll have OBGYN like we've been here, we'll have peds like we've been here, but we're going to be bringing on other primary care and specialties to be able to bring that care to people. They're talking about adding an urgent care as well, and we'll also have a same-day surgery center with potentially the ability to have patients stay overnight.
By 2021, Bozeman will have 2 large healthcare facilities. Executive Vice President of Philanthropy for Bozeman Health Foundation, Jason Smith, said, quote, "It's not surprising to us that there will be a new competitor in the healthcare marketplace, but I would also share that competition in healthcare is coming from many different directions, with telehealth being a great example. Smith also added that Bozeman Health plans to stay focused on providing health care to all, regardless of their ability to pay, while providing the highest quality of care.
We're just so excited to be here. This is an opportunity for us to have a bigger presence in Bozeman. We love this community. We want to be a part of the medical community, and we want to be a part of the greater community. So we're just really excited about the opportunity, and we're going to see where this takes us.
In Bozeman, Emma Hamilton, MTN News.
Now, Emma also adds construction is expected to start in the late spring of 2019. It should be completed by the fall of 2021.
Shifting gears now at 6:35, a Butte man who's been in law enforcement for almost 4 decades is taking off his badge. MTN's John Amy introduces us to Captain Gary Becker with the Montana Highway Patrol.
After 37 years in law enforcement, Captain Gary Becker will leave the job at the end of the year with no regrets.
It's been a great career. I enjoy the people I work with. I've especially enjoyed being able to go out and help the public, help people in need.
Becker took command of the Montana Highway Patrol's Butte District more than 15 years ago. He still finds it most rewarding just helping people out who've been involved in a routine traffic accident.
Their experience is rather traumatic, and being able to help them out, being compassionate with their needs and so forth, and just in general being able to help people.
One of the biggest changes Captain Becker has seen in his almost 4 decades in law enforcement is that this job is getting more dangerous and unpredictable for law enforcement.
When we make a traffic stop, we don't have an idea if that person or the people in that vehicle are involved in drug activity or anything else. You just don't know anymore. It's just become more violent.
And while Captain Becker has had many wonderful moments in his career in law enforcement, he's also seen the darker side of this career, and those moments will stay with him forever.
Crashes, fatal crashes, again, law enforcement officers that have been killed, those kinds of things. I can go back years and years and years and tell you certain events that happened. They're there. They're imprinted. They don't go away. And just by leaving this job, I certainly don't think that they'll go away.
Even in retirement, Becker will still be thinking about his former command.
I've invested a lot of time and energy in the patrol, and trying to make it a better place, trying to make it a better organization. Hopefully it left this place and the organization better than when I came.
His replacement, Sergeant Josh Brown, believes Becker did just that.
I just hope to be able to continue the momentum that he's got going with this district, because it is really a great place to work.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
By the way, Sergeant Josh Brown will be promoted to captain at the end of the year to take over the Butte District.
And congratulations, and thank you for all of your time served. That's great. Now in Great Falls, a military medal found in the trash is drawing a lot of attention as the search for its rightful owner continues. A Great Falls man found a Purple Heart medal in a dumpster several weeks ago. The man told workers at Pacific Steel and Recycling that he planned to sell it, and that's when the branch manager, Aaron Hartnell, brought the medal to try to return it to the recipient, Robert M. Johnson, or his family. Hartnell says he's received several tips and a lot of support, but so far there's been no definite answers. So we hope that gets tracked back to the family as well.
We hope it gets back to its rightful owner.
Absolutely. It is time for a quick break. Stay with us. When we return, Chet sits down with Jason Smith from the Bozeman Health Deaconess Foundation to hear about a big announcement.
Definitely a big announcement. You're going to love this one. But first, let's check in with Gail King, see what's coming up at CBS this morning.
Good morning to you. Ahead on CBS this morning, more than 4 million people are expected to fly to the Thanksgiving destination. We'll show you how one of the country's busiest airports prepares for its toughest week. And Black Panther actor, that's Michael B. Jordan, tells us what it took to prepare for Creed 2. He's ready, and why the role is a childhood dream come true. That's nice. We'll see you guys 7 o'clock. Straight out.